Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss about light. Light as a factor in the ecosystem. Sunlight is the major part of abiotic conditions in an ecosystem, and the sun, it emits the solar radiations which are received by the plants. Through the process of photosynthesis, it is converted into the chemical energy. The visible light is a part of electromagnetic spectrum to which the human eyes is most sensitive. So the visible light is typically absorbed and emitted by the electrons in molecules and atoms that move from one energy level to the another energy level. The electromagnetic radiations with a wavelength between 380 nanometers to 760 nanometers is detected by the human eye and perceived as a visible light. Other wavelengths, especially near infrared, that is longer than 760 nanometer, and ultraviolet, that is shorter than 380 nanometer, are also sometimes referred to as light, especially when the visibility to human is not relevant. The visible light is of the greatest importance to plants because it is necessary for photosynthesis and the rest of the solar energy. Either it is reflected or absorbed by the atmosphere. Factors such as quality of light, intensity of light, and the length of light period, they play a very important role in the ecosystem. So quality of light, that is the wavelength or the color. Plants, they absorb blue and red light during photosynthesis. In terrestrial ecosystem, the quality of light does not change much, but in the aquatic ecosystem, the quality of light can be a limiting factor. Both blue and red light are absorbed and as a result do not penetrate deep into the water. To compensate for this, some algae have additional pigments which are able to absorb other colors as well. So next factor is the light intensity. The intensity of light that reaches the earth varies according to the latitude and the season of the year. The southern hemisphere receives less than 12 hours of sunlight during the period between 21st March to 23rd September, but it receives more than 12 hours of sunlight during the other 6 months. Then is phototropism. Phototropism is the directional growth of plant in relation to light. When the direction of the stimulus determines the direction of the movement of the stem. So the stems, when they move towards the light, it is known as positive phototropism. For example, the roots, they move away from the light, it is known as the negative phototropism. Light plays an important role in the species composition and development of the vegetation. On an average, approximately only 2 to 3% of this solar energy is used in the primary productivity. The light intensity show a special variation due to the factors like atmospheric water layer, particle dispersed in the air. So the effect of light on the plants. The light plays a very important role directly or indirectly in regulating the growth, that is the structure, form, size, even the metabolism and development and distribution of the plants. The plants, they are influenced by light in the following ways. Effect on the chlorophyll synthesis. The synthesis of chlorophyll in green plants can take place only in the presence of light. It is seen that if the plant is kept in prolonged darkness, the chlorophyll around practically disappear. Next is the effect on number of and position of the chloroplast. The upper surface of leaves, which receives maximum sunlight, has larger number of chloroplasts as compared to the lower surface. Then effect on the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process of conversion of solar energy into the chemical energy, which is subsequently used for the preparation of carbohydrates from the carbon dioxide and water. More the sunlight, more will be the photosynthesis. The rate of photosynthesis is slower at lower intensity and is increased linearly with increasing light intensity up to a particular point that is known as the saturation point. Beyond that, there is no further increase in the rate of photosynthesis with increase in the light intensity. The intensity of light at which the plant no longer carry photosynthesis or when the photosynthesis balances the respiration is known as the compensation point. The effect on respiration. The effect on respiration increases the higher light intensity and decreases with the lower light intensity. Then the effect on the transpiration. The rate of atmospheric temperature, which may be due to the conversion of solar radiation into the heat, increases the rate of transpiration. The process of opening and closing of stomata, leaving a lot of water from the aerial surface of the plant, is known as the transpiration. Then the effect on the production of hormones. Light inhibits the synthesis of auxins and the growth hormones in the case of the plants, as a result of which the shape and the size of the plant, it gets modified. Then the effect on the development of the flowers, fruits, vegetative parts. The light is a light of higher intensity favors development of flowers, fruits and seeds, but light of lower intensity promotes the development of vegetative parts and cause delicacy. Effect on the formation of anthocyanin pigment. Intense light helps in the formation of anthocyanin pigments in the plant. The plants in Alpine region have beautiful flowers containing this pigment. Effect on the movement. The effect of sunlight in modulating the movement of plant is known as phototropism or heliotropism. The elongation of stem towards light is known as positive phototropism, whereas the movement of fruit away from the light is known as negative phototropism. Then the effect on photoperiodism, the response of plants to which the relative length of the day is known as the photoperiod. According to this, the three types of plants they are there. Long day plants, where more than 12 hours of day is there, for example radish, potato. Then is short day plants, where the plants they receive less than 12 hours of light, for example cereals, tobacco, dahlia, etc. Then is day neutral plants. The plants they do not show much response to the change in the length of the day, for example cotton, balsam, tomato, etc. Then the effect on the seed germination. The germination of seed is largely influenced by the light. The most of the plants, the red light induces the seed germination. Effect of light on the animals. The light, it affects various biological activities of animals like growth, development, reproduction, locomotion, pigmentation, metabolism. For example, effect on the metabolism. The rate of metabolism in the animal is largely influenced by the light intensity through enzyme activities. Higher the intensity of light, higher will be the enzyme activity and higher will be the metabolism. However, in the cave dwelling animals, they are not influenced by the light intensity. Effect on the reproduction. In case of some animals and birds, the breeding activities, they are induced by the light through its inoculating action over the gonads. In addition, there exists a definite relationship between the length of the day and the egg laying in the case of the birds. The effect on the development, light has differential action over the development. In case of some animals, light accelerates the development, and some other cases it retards the same. For example, in salmo larvae, growth largely is there in darkness. The effect on the pigmentation, light induces the formation of pigments in the animals. It is seen that the higher the light intensity, higher will be the pigmentation. For example, human inhabiting in the tropical region have higher coloration, concentration of melanin in their skin, hence comparatively darker than the countries in the temperate region. Then effect on the locomotion. In some lower animals, light controls the speed of locomotion, and such process is known as photokinesis. It is of two types, phototaxis and phototropism. Phototaxis is, it is a process of movement of an animal in response to the light stimulus. When the animal moves towards the light source, it is said to be positively photoactive. When it moves away from the light, it is known as the negative photoactive. So bodily movement is known as phototaxis, whereas phototropism, when only part of organism show response to the movement of light stimulus, it is known as the phototropism. It is shown by the sessile animals. Then is photoperiodism, the response of animals to the light of the day or the rhythm of the light is known as the photophase, and portion of darkness is known as scotophase. Effect on the eyes, the degree of development of the eyes depend upon the intensity of light available in the environment. For example, in case of cave dwelling animals and deep sea fishes, the eyes, they are absent or rudimentary, as the animals lives in total darkness. I think the influence of light as a factor in the ecosystem is now well known to you. Thank you.